We have issued a winter weather alert for nasty travel conditions. Heavy bout of snow just south of Detroit, downriver right now, moving into southern Ontario, but the darker blue you see on the radar map, just some heavier snow. Moderate snow elsewhere. We're looking at probably an average of 2 to 3 inches when all is said and done, which should be right around 10, maybe 11 a.m. And then flurries through the afternoon, middle 20s. Kim?
All right, thank you, Brandon. And you said it, it is going to be nasty travel today. We've got one problem that is going to really slow you down if you travel over on westbound I-94. There's an accident just past Moross with only the right lane open. Backups are starting to build.
All right, Kim, thank you. So take a look at this from Boca Raton, Florida, an unwelcome guest in a backyard swimming pool.
So Janet Rosa took these photos of an 8-foot gator in the backyard. And there you see a Florida Fish and Wildlife officer capturing it. But Rosa's family thinks that the gator came from a nearby canal. I don't care where it came from. I'm moving. And not living in Florida. That's why we enjoy our lakes here in Michigan.
Yes, we do.
It's 5:27, everybody. Next at 5:30, local stories for you from all across Metro Detroit.
Also ahead, caught on camera. It's not a house explosion, but it sure does look like one. The incredible story of what went down here coming up.
And the local forecasters were right, as they always are. Snow just in time for your morning drive. We're going to have a live update from the road. Kim DeJulia watching traffic. Brandon is on weather, and our Coco McAvoy is driving out in it for you, and we'll have an update coming up next.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News Today at 5:30 starts now.
Protecting the games is an Olympic-sized job. This morning, we've got an inside look at just how much security will go into keeping the athletes safe.
Plus, show us the money. We are learning about a plan to give schools a lot more cash to work with, and we know they need it.
And tricky travel. Another round of snow creating some slick conditions on the roads all across Metro Detroit. We are going to have a look at the drive, a live drive as we like to call it, coming up in just a little bit. Our Coco McAvoy out on area roads this morning to show you how some of them are in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, and you can see one of Kim's map pointing out an accident along the east side along 94. We'll get you updated on that. But first, we want to get over to Brandon, talk about just how much snow we're going to get and how long it's going to last this morning.
Yeah, you know, today's winter weather advisory, more of a result of the timing and travel conditions rather than snow totals. This happening just before and during your morning drive. It's been snowing for a couple of hours, but it is starting to come down in some spots. 18 degrees, visibility is reduced by the snow, and these pockets of heavier snow at times could be less than a quarter of a mile. We don't want to see any pileups or anything like that, so it's slippery and visibility stinks. So winter weather advisory through noon, mainly along and south of I-69. As we see this dark band downriver coming into southern Wayne County, that's some heavy snow that will be very, very limited, almost zero visibility from that, and laying down another quick little blanket of snow, but it's light to moderate snow just about everywhere else, and I anticipate through about 10:30 this morning we'll have that snow coming down. When all's said and done, 2 to 3 inches, I think on average, may get a couple of 4-inch areas, but 2 to 3 inches through the morning today, and then flurries this afternoon, middle 20s for temps. And Kim, coming up, I'll talk about Friday's storm that will make this one look like a flurry.
There's more coming?
Yep.
Just kidding. He's been talking about it all day, so we are going to be prepared for that one. All right, good morning, everyone. It's slow out there. Travel will be tricky. We've got a big accident over on westbound I-94 just past Moross. That's really going to slow you down. Only the right lane is open. We're seeing delays on westbound and eastbound I-94 in this area. You may want to think about using Gratiot instead. And let's take a look at what the roads look like right now. We do have our Bernie Zettner out with our live drive camera. This is a look at what Van Dyke looks like over in Warren, and as you can see, these streets are slushy out there, and we're approaching a red light right now, but it's definitely smart to take things slow. And then also we do have a look at the Livonia area. Our Coco McAvoy is out and about. Coco, how's it going out there?
Good morning, Kim. So we're on 275 South right now in Livonia. As you mentioned, to me, the snow appears to be coming down a little bit harder now this morning. Since we've been driving, we've been getting on the freeways, we've been going on the side streets. And in my opinion, some of the side streets are actually tougher than the freeways because when you're stopping at those stoplights, your tires end up kind of sliding a little bit. That's at least what happened to me this morning on my way to work when I was at a stoplight. But you can see right now the freeway, it's a little bit slow going. We're going about 40 this morning, but when we were in Wayne County, we were going at about 30 miles per hour. The roads are pretty snow covered there. Right now you can see the roads are just a little bit clearer. We believe that some snow plows have been through this area, but the problem is it's still pretty slow going out this morning. People are taking it very slow, and that's the biggest message this morning, is to make sure to give yourself extra time. Back to you guys.
All right, Coco, thanks for that report, and be safe out there. But remember, for those of you who are headed out a little bit later this morning, Brandon and I will be queuing up the CarCast starting at 7 a.m. to make sure that you are up to date on all of the latest on the roads and weather. We'll let you know exactly what's happening. That is starting at 7 a.m. All you need to do is take your phone on the go, get the Click on Detroit app, and we will be doing that CarCast. Again, that's at 7 a.m. Over to you.
Very helpful. Thank you, Kim. 5:35 is your time. And happening today, an updated sexual misconduct policy is set to go into effect for University of Michigan students. Changes include revising definitions of gender-based harassment and intimate partner violence. Also, the job of determining punishment will move from a volunteer board to staff at the Office for Student Conflict Resolution. The policy also clarifies when mediation is an appropriate resolution option for non-penetrative cases of sexual assault.
It is 5:35, and also today, 2 Detroit women charged with the shooting death of a Garden City teen are set to appear in court. Sharnia McCoy and Erica Osborne will be sentenced in connection to the death of 17-year-old Reginald Robinson back in February of last year. Last week, both pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and felony firearms violations. Authorities say Osborne fired shots from the passenger seat of an SUV driven by McCoy. It's also said that the pair had a heated exchange with Robinson inside of a store before that shooting happened.
Today in Lansing, Governor Snyder is set to release his final budget proposal, and insiders are telling us that the governor will call for increased spending on road repairs and K-12 education. Last year, state GOP leaders butted heads over Snyder's proposed budget before compromising on a teacher pension reform plan. The leaders are expected to square off once again this year. It's expected that the governor will ask for a per-pupil funding increase of $120 to $240 based on the district. This would amount in an overall spending increase of $312 million. All month long, we are celebrating Black History Month here on Local 4, and on Tuesday, Central Detroit Christian teamed up with the popular Southfield restaurant Beans and Cornbread to provide meals to 60 Detroit kids.
So the restaurant brought their shoebox lunches, which have facts about Black history in honor of Black History Month. And after dinner, the kids also had a lesson about iconic African Americans throughout history. Meantime, we want to honor Irma Henderson. She earned a master's degree in social work from Wayne State University. As a civil rights advocate, Henderson pushed for blacks to be treated fairly in the workplace, criminal justice systems, restaurants, and hotels.
And in 1972, she was elected the first African-American woman to Detroit's City Council. She served 16 years, 12 as council president. Irma Henderson even ran for mayor of Detroit, but was defeated by Coleman Young in 1989. She passed away not too long ago in 2009 at the age of 92. But certainly her impact will always be remembered.
Absolutely. It is 5:38, everybody. And believe it or not, the Winter Olympics ceremony, opening ceremony, is this Friday in Pyeongchang, South Korea.
And actually, competition starts tomorrow.
Yep.
Ahead this morning, though, look at this. We've got an inside look at how much security will be all in place, attempting to keep all of the athletes and all of the spectators safe.
But first, shaken. A massive earthquake turns deadly in Taiwan, and now the real work is getting underway. We've got an update for you on this very serious situation there coming up next.
Suburban Buick.
Welcome back, everybody. Look at this damage. At least 4 people are dead and more than 240 people have been injured after this massive earthquake in Taiwan. The shallow magnitude 6.4 quake hit the city of Hualien along the island's east coast. Authorities say 4 buildings in the city were either tilted or completely collapsed. So far, more than 100 people are unaccounted for there. Many of those believed to have been living in a large residential complex. Several aftershocks have been felt as more than 1,300 rescue workers search for the missing and injured.
It is almost that time. They aren't athletes, though, but they're training just as hard for the Winter Olympics. I'm talking about the massive security force that has been put into place. Officers hoping for the best, but they're also preparing for the worst. An attack could come from anywhere. A hijacking, a car bomb, a standoff. These simulated drills preparing South Korean security teams for any threat. Protecting the games, an Olympic-sized job. A show of force 60,000 strong. South Korean Marines trained alongside American Marines. From snipers crouching in the snow to troops skiing down the slope. There are eyes in the sky and boots on the ground.
Definitely ramping it up.
Special Agent Kevin Williams is one of 100 U.S. State Department security agents here to protect more than 200 U.S. athletes, and there's 60,000 American spectators expected here.
We always have contingency plans ranging from everything small, a fire in a venue could be one thing, all the way up to, the more extreme scenarios.
Looks like a movie, Mission Impossible even. We should let you know the security crew already facing an unexpected challenge. More than 1,000 security staff members have been isolated because they're sick with what appears to be a norovirus. Members of the military are going to be taking their place. But our live coverage of the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea starts tomorrow at 5 a.m. And Bernie is also working on a special report for tonight at 11.
The opening ceremony is Friday night right here on Local 4, and when you watch, you'll notice something different.
It's not about me, it's about what I can best do for the audience in that role.
There's a new face of NBC's Olympic coverage. His name, Mike Tirico. But he's not letting a little title like that get to his head.
There's not one person who is putting on the Olympics and say, hey, Mike's on, let's watch. Maybe my family, and that's a borderline call with my family.
Tirico's been studying his international athletes and sharpening his wit.
Medvedeva, who is the favorite in the women's figure skating. I know you were watching her highlights weekend at Bernie's a few weeks ago. I know that was a big feature for you.
It's Mike Tirico on the eve of his first go-around as Olympic host, tonight at 11.
And you can only watch it here on Local 4.
Yeah, and he is so good. He's so well prepared, so knowledgeable, just seamless.
You know who also is very knowledgeable? This guy right here,
Yes,
Brandon
he
Rue.
is. Woo, Brandon Rue. You're keeping, you have a busy week with the snow, huh?
Yeah, it really has been. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Just wait. Friday is going to really, I'm trying to think of the right word as to what it will make today's snow possibly look like. It is going to be much more problematic on Friday. Not a great way to start the weekend, but it will be Friday, and I think we'll have a smile on our face, and I'm just trying to keep one on your face. I'm going to start juggling in a minute. 18 degrees with visibility limited, snow coming down, sticking right to your streets, and the highways and byways are also very dangerous. So this is why we have this winter weather advisory until noon. It may expire a little before that. We expect the snow to start shutting down between 10 and 11 a.m., but the darker blues on here show some heavier snow just south of I-94 through Washtenaw County, downriver in Wayne County, and even through 696 over here near Southfield and Novi, starting to get some heavier snow bands there as well. All said and done, really 2 to 3 inches, something like that, by about 11 a.m., and then a couple of flurries still possible through the afternoon hours, middle 20s for high temperatures, and again, roughly 2.5, 3 inches, I think, on average for a lot of us. You can see the cutoff back over Lake Michigan, so it's not an all-day event. Travel east is trouble for ice and snow. Watch out for that. And our next weather maker comes in here again on Friday. Real quick, this is today, and just notice we're all pretty uniform, close to that 2.5 inches. This is Friday, and this is an aggressive model. It's a little early, but this little color coordination of purple, 12 inches plus. south of I-94 on Friday. This should start again right before the morning drive and go all day. And I think we're looking at Friday 4 to 7 inches, which could be on the conservative side. But again, morning snow today under this winter weather advisory, nothing to laugh at. We need to be advised that travel will be treacherous, dangerous. Watch out for pileups, that kind of thing, because of the reduced visibility and icy streets. Tomorrow, a little bit better, but it's still chilly. Single digits in the morning and then 23 with a few flurries Thursday. And the Olympics do start, I think, figure skating Thursday. The opening ceremonies are Friday night, which will be a nice release because we're going to be stressed all day with the snow that some models are putting down about 9 inches on us on Friday, Kim.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we will be prepared for that. But right now, I want to get you prepared for your commute this morning. The accidents are starting to build. I'll start you off with this one over on southbound I-275 right at I-94. The right lane is blocked. This accident is actually a car fire as well. And as you can see, slowdowns in this area. So you really want to keep this in mind, especially if you're headed to the airport. You have a flight to catch. This is really going to affect your commute if you do travel over on southbound I-275. So again, give yourself plenty of extra time. Let's take a look at some other problems out there. We've got this accident over on the southbound side of I-75 right at I-94. Your right lane is blocked here, and then we've been following this one causing major slowdowns over on westbound I-94 just past Maross. Only the right lane is open. Take a look at these delays here on the map, and just to give you a better look at what the delays look like, as you can see, this is the view from Cadieux, and these cars are at a standstill right now. So that's not really where you want to be stuck this morning, so you may want to think about using Gratiot instead if this is part of your morning commute. And speaking of your morning commute, let's take a look at our roads. We've got our Bernie Zettner out with his live drive camera. This is a look at the southbound side of Van Dyke over in Sterling Heights. And, you know, the surface streets are going to be a little bit more snow covered than your freeways because they're less traveled on. And as you can see, it's really slushy in this area. It's definitely worth giving yourself plenty of extra time and leaving extra early. Over to you.
Man, oh man, it's just keep piling up. Kim, thank you. It is 5:49, everybody. Let's get into some stories that you might have missed, like this one. Very interesting. Lawmakers in New York are proposing legislation to make these laundry pods less appealing to young people.
Yeah, the law would mandate child-resistant packaging, warning labels, and uniform colors for laundry detergent pods. The Tide Pod Challenge is an internet trend involving videos of people putting them in their mouths. It's poisonous and it can be very dangerous. The American Association of Poison Control Centers says that there have been more than 100 calls this year alone. The year just started over a month ago as a result of teens ingesting these pods. Tide's parent company, Procter & Gamble, has launched a campaign warning people, do not eat the pods.
So they want to make these less appealing. What part of that looked appealing from the jump?
I don't know.
And I don't think any teens are eating them because they think that they look delicious.
Well, with young kids, before when those pods first came out, even the ones for like your dishwasher and that kind of thing, there were incidents. So
right, with
that
young
was before
kids.
the challenge.
But now the teens, man, oh man.
It is 5:50, and SpaceX's biggest rocket to date blasted off from Cape Canaveral, Florida, on its first test flight.
Yeah, and it was really cool to see. Powered by 5 million pounds of thrust, the spacecraft is part of an operation that may revolutionize the next generation of space travel. And there it takes off. The unmanned mission has a red Tesla with a dummy named Starman behind the wheel and the phrase, "Don't panic," on the dashboard. Back on Earth, though, 2 of the spacecraft's 3 15-story boosters returned and landed side by side.
That was epic. I think that's probably the most exciting thing I've ever seen, literally, ever.
And the SpaceX engineers dreamed big, and they pulled it off. It was an amazing first flight.
It sure was amazing to watch, especially that in unison landing. Now, while it was successful, the launch was not perfect. The rocket's center booster missed the floating platform it was supposed to land on and splashed, I should say, into the Atlantic Ocean. Still pretty remarkable.
Yeah, and I used to live in Florida, so seeing those take off, like literally you could be driving along the highway and everybody will pull over.
Yes.
They stop what they're doing and they just watch it go off.
I remember when I was a kid, that was like one of the attractions that we saw when we went down to Florida.
It is 5:51, everybody. We've got much more ahead on the Today Show, so you definitely want to stick around for that. Let's talk about Blake Griffin, though.
Yes.
Because he's undefeated now with the Pistons, so a round of applause there. But did you know that he's got a role in a new movie?
I do.
Called The Female Brain. And we've got a clip from the trailer. Check this out.
Physical marvel.
Oh, okay.
Try me. Throw something at me. Anything. Oh. Okay. So I wasn't ready for that.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, sure.
I think you're a physical marvel.
I see. And she throws jelly. Jelly's not really something you catch. Jelly's something you eat. Yeah, of course
here we
I'm
go.
ready.
Those were 2 peppers in a bag.
It was like catching nunchucks.
So The Female Brain, the movie, is being released on Friday on video on demand. It opens February 16th, and you can see it next week at the AMC Star Theater in Southfield.
And Blake will be there in case you... No,
It would be
I made
cool.
that part up, but there's a chance.
We should check his schedule and see if he could be there.
I'll give him a call after the show. We'll report
They
back.
do play tonight, though, so let's hope the winning streak continues. Ahead this morning, a remarkable wreck. A car crashes right into and then through a house.
We got the video after the break. Keep it here.
The entire
Winter weather alert, nasty travel conditions, not necessarily the snow totals. The big concern, it's limited visibility and snow sticking to the streets, probably looking at 2 to 3 inches when all is said and done. A few areas getting a little more, a little less, but 18 degrees right now. By 10:30, 11 a.m., things start to wind down, and just a few flakes and flurries, middle 20s this afternoon.
All right, well, we've got some slowdowns over on southbound I-275 due to an accident right at I-94. Your right lane is blocked. And then another accident on southbound I-75 right at I-94, also blocking your right lane. So be careful there. But no matter where you're headed, give yourself plenty of extra time. Roads are slippery.
They certainly are. Kim, thank you. Check this out, though. An Ohio man is pretty upset, and rightfully so. He caught a delivery driver carelessly tossing packages onto his front porch. So the driver then tosses a second package, as you saw there. The delivery company is looking into the incident. It's unacceptable. Some scary moments, though, for one family in Oklahoma City when a car plows right through a home.
Yeah, take a look at the video that you see here. You can see that car come right through the wall. The owner and his wife were inside of the home at the time. Police say that the driver experienced a medical emergency before that crash and is expected to be okay. Pretty scary indeed.
It is 5:57, everybody. Coming up all new at 6 o'clock. Local stories for you from Detroit, Clarkston, and Ann Arbor.
Plus, Doritos for Women, the company behind the popular snack, is now saying about this whole controversy that unfolded over the last couple days.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And we're helping you battle the winter blues one day at a time. All week long, we're helping you overcome these cold and snowy, dreary, and dark months. Ahead at 6 a.m., we are going to reveal your secrets. Plus, we've got professional advice that can turn up your winter woes and turn that frown upside down, that frozen frown, in fact. We're back in a minute.
Nominate live from downtown Detroit. Local 4 News Today at 6 starts now.
Winter weather advisory in full effect this morning. Snow is falling all across the metro area, and it's accumulating, and it's keeping the roads slick, and the accidents are building. It's a messy travel. You're going to need to allow yourself some extra drive time. And Brandon says we have another punch of measurable snow coming our way before the end of the week.
How much are flights to Florida?
You might want to start looking into that. Palm trees sound pretty nice after the morning commutes we've had the last 2 days.
A palm tree, some sand, a beach.
Yeah, but if you are waking up right here in good old Detroit, let's get over to Brandon and Kim, because you do need to be prepared for the weather and how it's going to impact your drive this morning.
Yeah, anytime we have a winter weather advisory, weather and traffic go hand in hand like no other, because it is a treacherous travel kind of forecast. 18 degrees. Wind is not real strong out of the northeast. It'll switch directions later, northwest, and keep cool air at us all day. But the feels like numbers are in the single digits, so the snow's coming down, very cold and sticking to everything. Winter weather advisory along and south of I-69, so it covers just about all of us here in Metro Detroit through noon, although I think the snow starts to shut down or shut off by about 10:30 this morning. You can see some heavy returns here coming out of Lenawee County, the dark blue, getting closer and closer to I-94 through Lenawee, Washtenaw rather, and Wayne counties here downriver to northern Monroe County. And this is, of course, moving into southern Ontario at a pretty good clip. It's a little lighter north of 696, but still pretty treacherous, tricky travel all day. And watch out at the bus stops because of limited visibility. Kids will need the snow boots and the thick winter gear. And through the afternoon, it is a little bit more tolerable with just a couple of flurries and a homework assignment for the kids. Shovel when you get home. Your local forecasters app is something you want as you're heading out, because this has radar, all of your weather alerts, when they end, when they begin, road conditions, everything right there. The local forecasters app is free. Just search WDIV. And for your current road conditions, Kim DeJulio staying busy. Good morning.
Good morning, Brandon. Good morning, everyone. Well, I just want to give you some perspective of how slow it is. Normally during this time, we're used to seeing all of these lines pretty green. So it shows you just how slow travel will be today, which is actually a good thing. That's going to keep you safe out on the roads. They're really slick right now. We've got a couple of problems I want to let you know about. This one over on southbound I-275 right at I-94 has your right lane blocked. We're seeing some slowdowns in this area. And then we've got this accident over on southbound I-75 right at I-94 blocking your right lane. But I do want to tell you about some good news, though, is that we do have that accident over on I-94 in Maross that has just cleared. So we're looking up from there, I guess. But now let's take a look at what's going on the roads. We do have Coco McAvoy. She has been out all morning. Coco, how's it going out there and what's it look like? Where are you?
Good morning, Kim. Right now we're on 275 South in Belleville this morning. You can see that the road conditions have worsened just a little bit since we've been driving this morning. You can see the roads are pretty snow covered. You can't see a lot of pavement out here. Right now we're going about 35 miles per hour because you have to take it slow out on these roads. You can also see that traffic, it's picked up just a little bit. Everyone appears to be taking their time this morning because, as I mentioned, the fact that you can't see the pavement could mean that there's, of course, a lot of ice out here as well. Since we've been driving out this morning, we haven't seen a salt truck out yet. However, we're more than positive that salt trucks have been out here because in certain areas you can also see that areas are plowed. But here on 275 South in Belleville, you can see it's pretty snow covered. Now you can see that there are some people passing us this morning. As I said, we're going about 35 miles per hour. It appears other people might be going about 45, but we're trying to be pretty cautious out here this morning because you don't know if you're going to hit some black ice. We have been on some side streets this morning, too, in between breaks, and I can tell you it's a pretty tricky commute this morning. So the best message, the best advice this morning is to give yourself some extra time on your commute. Back to you.
All righty, good advice. Coco, thank you. And we have a reminder for you when we go off the air at 7 a.m. Be sure to join us on our Click on Detroit app. We're going to be broadcasting a nonstop audio-only CarCast. You can listen to Kim and Brandon's weather and traffic updates to help you get around all this winter mess. That starts at 7 a.m., but keep both hands at 10 and 2.
We are hearing from the mother of fallen Detroit police officer Glenn Doss. Doss was shot nearly 2 weeks ago as he responded to a domestic violence call. He died 4 days later from his head injury. He was shot in the head. Nicole Flowers says that she plans to honor her son by making sure that his fellow officers are equipped with the proper gear to make sure that they survive injuries like her son's.
You got to change the training. You got to give them equipment and say, when you get a call like this, put this on. As special ops, he should have had it in the trunk. He should have had it in the bag. Should have been somewhere where he could don that Kevlar. They wear it on their chest. Don that. Change the training because you're not dealing with the population, the public population from 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago.
And to see how you can support the Glenn Doss Fund and that important gear that his mother wants to see every officer have access to, you can head to our website at clickondetroit.com.
The Larry Nassar abuse investigation is widening here in Michigan. Former owner of Twistars and former Olympic gymnastics coach John Geddard is facing a criminal investigation. The Eaton County Sheriff's Office says that people have come forward with complaints against him, and some of the young athletes who confronted Nassar in court said that Geddard was physically abusive. Meanwhile, calls for change continue to grow at Michigan State University as demonstrators demand the resignation of MSU's Board of Trustees and interim president John Engler. Protesters gathered at Erickson Hall and marched to the administration building to drop off their list of demands. This all comes as former MSU Dr. Larry Nassar was convicted of sexual abuse.
The deadline to avoid another government shutdown is quickly approaching, just over a day away, and Congress is working to make a deal happen, but President Trump doesn't want that deal to happen. The president came out on Tuesday in support of another government shutdown to force Democrats to go along with a new immigration plan and border security. So far, the idea has received pushback from both political parties. The government shutdown deadline is this Thursday at midnight. Meanwhile, President Trump has asked the Pentagon to stage a military parade to celebrate military strength. The White House says that he asked the Department of Defense to explore a celebration at which all Americans can show their appreciation. Many believe that the display of military power would be more typical of more authoritarian countries. A Pentagon spokesman says that the Department of Defense is only exploring the possibility at this time.
It is 6:07, and today Matt Patricia will be introduced as the next head coach for the Detroit Lions. There's a news conference scheduled to happen at the Lions practice facility in Allen Park. Patricia comes to Detroit after 14 years with the New England Patriots. And our Bernie Smilovitz is going to have a live report from Allen Park tonight on Local 4 News at 5 and 6 o'clock. So we'll definitely be tuning in for that. And a warm welcome for him at that.
Yeah, a little snow. He's very used to it.
Yeah.
He's
a warm welcome
from New England.
our hearts here in Detroit.
Absolutely.
There you go.
We are very excited to have him here. We hope he turns things around and really gets us into a really good record in his first season. 6:07 is your time, and it is a roller coaster ride. How the stock market came roaring back. That's coming up.
Also, Jason Carr joining us in studio this morning. Good morning.
Morning. Roaring back for a day anyway, fingers crossed. How do you beat the winter blues? How do you beat the winter blues? Your secrets revealed, and some of them are surprising. That's next as we continue our effort to help you battle the blues all week long.
Welcome back, everybody. It is 6:10, and for Black History Month today, we are honoring Fannie Richards. She was Detroit's first black public school teacher. She opened a private school for black children in 1863, and then in 1869 helped sponsor a lawsuit against school segregation. She taught the city's first kindergarten class in 1871 and retired after 50 years of service in 1915. She passed away in 1922. We're back in a minute. Welcome back, everybody. All week long, we are helping you battle the winter blues, giving you different ways to lift your mood other than watching us every morning.
Also, Jason Carr talked to some people that have their own unique methods of coping with the cold. What did you find out?
Everybody is different. It's a subjective experience. They range from a special breakfast to spreading smiles. I hit the streets to hear your secrets to success during these cold winter months. How do you beat the winter blues, Sybil?
I pray and I stay focused on what I have to do and just get up and do it.
I enjoy the snow and I enjoy shoveling. It's part of being a Michigander, really, so I like it.
I usually do egg whites and turkey sausage.
Egg whites and turkey sausage.
Yeah.
That's the cure for the winter blues?
Hey, I mean, it works.
How do you beat the winter blues, Chuck, besides not wearing a coat when
Don't wear a coat because it's Michigan and it's wintertime. This isn't that cold. Goodbye.
You just have a goal in mind and go chase it.
Smile and laugh and enjoy life. We live in Michigan.
And I take a lot of naps and I have a vision board of like warm areas to travel to.
A vision board? What is this?
Well, we create like vision boards to know what we're working towards so that way it's not so bad.
Apparently I'm doing it all wrong. I need a vision board. It'd be just stocked with images of palm trees and poolside drinks or something.
I stand by a window every now and then to catch some rays, get those dopamine levels up, you know?
Working out in the morning.
Working out?
6 a.m.
What about this guy?
I agree. Working out in the morning, hot shower in the morning, and a couple glasses of coffee.
Glasses of coffee?
Yeah, my mug's pretty big.
Logan's from California. He has no idea what seasonal affective disorder is. He's a new Michigander.
I am indeed.
How are you going to combat this when it arrives? Are you scared?
I'm a little worried. I'm hoping it warms up.
Keep hoping, Logan. Keep hoping. Right now, we want to hear how you beat the winter blues. Head to the Local 4 Facebook page to share your secret. Who knows? It could help change, or it could help someone else change their ways. By the way, Brandon, I turned him on to the show on Netflix, Black Mirror. That's how he's beating the blues.
Really?
You didn't say how you beat it.
If you watch Black Mirror, the last thing that will do for you is beat the winter blues.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Is it all winter, dark?
Well, it's dark. It's like the Twilight Zone.
Okay.
Modern era.
What do you do?
Just grin and bear it.
Yeah, that's what the thing is, it gets tough when you get to like April. And you're like, all right, enough already.
Enough is enough.
We've been in Michigan. Well, you haven't been in Michigan your whole life, have you?
Yeah. Born and raised.
I thought you spent some time in Florida.
I did. I went to high school in Florida, but the other 43 years.
You were here. All right. Thank you. That was cute. Coming up at 6:30, Dr. McGeorge is going to reveal some simple ways to overcome the seasonal slump. No vacation necessary. That's how I try to beat it. Just like a little trip
Just
somewhere.
a quick getaway, you
Yeah.
know, Florida, California, you know, Brandon, maybe even go to Bora Bora,
Or just look at your vision board today and not this.
I was looking at my timeshare and what was available. You know, I was looking at Florida, I was looking at Mexico, I was looking everywhere. Not available. But the good news is Banff up in the Canadian mountains. McCall, Idaho, all available. Well, I'll tell you what, we do have to grin and bear it, and just wait until you see this system coming in here on Friday, going to sort of dwarf this Monday and Wednesday systems. Winter weather advisory, I-69 south, so this includes just about all of us here in Metro Detroit, and the advisory means travel at your own risk kind of a thing, and I know you have to get to work, you got to get around, you got to do it, but it's going to be very slow, very slippery, all 4 zones in the middle and upper teens. And wind chills are single digits, so the snow that's coming down sticking right away. Highways, byways, all very slippery. Side streets are a mess. Watch out for those bus stops and just getting around. Very slippery. Right here along I-94 through Washtenaw and western Wayne County right now, over near Ypsilanti into Livonia and Westland, getting some decent snow, that darker blue. Also downriver, moving into southern Ontario. So south of 696 right now, the heaviest snow, but still a pretty good clip. All of our local streets and highways are covered, and it's snowing everywhere, and it will through about 10 o'clock. 2 to 3 inches, though, so it's not necessarily the biggest snow. Why we have the advisory, it's more of the timing and the fact that it's just slippery and visibility stinks. Through the afternoon, flurries, middle 20s, a little bit better off, certainly, than we are this morning. Snow total prediction, pretty average 2.5, 3 inches of snow when all is said and done, and you can see a lot of that happening over the next 60 to 90 minutes, and then it gets a little lighter, and again by about 10 we're going to shut things down. If you're traveling south into Ohio and east, watch out, it gets real nasty to the south of us. So of anybody in this storm, we're probably in the best shape. That will not be the case on Friday, starting around or just before the morning drive and then lasting all day. The model has most of us in this 6 to 12 inch range, with areas along and south of 94, man, getting a lot more than that. So we'll conservatively say Friday, snowy all day, 4 to 7 inches. That will probably change and increase on Friday, maybe our biggest snow of the year. The weekend, also more snow chances, but our 1-800-Hanson's weather window, our Michael Tissio out on a live drive near Romulus this morning. I know Kim has had an accident in that area, probably accidents everywhere, snow covered everywhere. We thank Michael for being out and showing you what to expect. Kim?
Oh, yes. Well, Brandon, we are certainly getting that Michigan winter that we haven't seen in about 2 years. So it is tricky travel. So I want to take you to I-275, and that is where we do have an accident over on the southbound lanes right at I-94. The right lane is blocked there. That's right by the airport, too. So if you're traveling, trying to catch a flight, leave extra early. Eastbound M14, another accident at Sheldon Road, this one on the left shoulder. And then if you take a look here, we do have an accident on the southbound lanes of I-75. 275 right at I-94, blocking your right lane. And then just to give you an idea of how slick it is out there, we've got this crash. This is westbound I-94 just past Southfield Freeway. This is a spin out. As you can see, this car is in the ditch here, which means that this area is pretty slick, but it's slick everywhere. And then I want to give you a closer look at our roads. We have our live drive camera out right now. This is Eric Yetta looking at the conditions over on the southbound side of Telegraph in Southfield. And take a look at these roads. You can hardly see the pavement here. Changing lanes will be very difficult. It's icy. Traffic volumes are starting to build and cars traveling really slowly. We're seeing a lot of brake lights here. So this is what your morning commute looks like. Again, give yourself plenty of extra time. Rhonda.
Oh, such a tough morning, Kim. Thank you. Turning our attention to consumer headlines today. Starbucks wants you to be its Valentine. Plus, Doritos just for women are not happening. What the company is saying about that one. But first, the stock market. It came roaring back. Will it stay that way? It's the question. Let's get to Maribel Aber joining us live from NASDAQ with a look at what's happening. Good morning.
Good morning, Rhonda. Like a lion, the Dow soared 567 points yesterday, a 2.3% gain that capped a wild trading session. The blue chips were actually down 567 at the beginning of trading. That followed the massive sell-off that occurred the previous session. The wild market swings come after what had been a calm and booming stock market. There will be no Doritos aimed at women. Rumors flew online the last few days that a PepsiCo was planning a male and female version of the chips. The whole episode started when the company's CEO said men and women eat the snack food differently. Well, last night, Doritos issued a tweet in an effort to end the episode. We already have Doritos for women. They're called Doritos, the tweet said. Starbucks Cherry Mocha hits stores today. It's a Valentine's Day inspired drink that's available in hot or iced options. The drink features espresso, a mocha sauce, candied cherry syrup, and it's topped with whipped cream and sprinkles. It's available through Valentine's Day. Rhonda, with all that sweetness, you may want to run a few laps on the treadmill to compensate for any love handles.
Isn't that the truth? It sounds good, though. Love handle. That's a good one. Thanks, Maribel.
That was really good.
Yeah.
But I do want one. You're going to have to try that. It's 6:20, everybody. Up next, we are going to introduce you to our pet of the week. Patrice Reed in studio with us this morning. I sense a color scheme here.
Yeah.
We'll be introduced to this new pup in just a little bit. But before we go to break, let's take a look at today's Facebook friend for the day. This is Dawn Sumter from Mount Clemens. And she tells us that she loves her son, who's pictured there with her. She also loves football and her many jobs.
Well, I hope that you love something else like pets, because we have a gift card for you to our Premier Pet Supplies. It's a great pet store right here in the metro area. $25 gift card. They have locations in Beverly Hills, Rochester Hills, Livonia, and Novi. We're back in a moment.
Ooh, it is nasty out there, and not the biggest snow we're going to get this week, but bad timing. It's heavy right now through parts of Washtenaw, Wayne, Lenawee, and Monroe counties, moving into southern Ontario. Limited visibility and slippery streets with snow coming down now through about 10 a.m., 2-3 inches, something like that. But middle 20s and a little drier this afternoon, Kim.
All right, thank you, Brandon. Well, we do have a new accident over on the southbound side of US 23 that has it closed right now at Silver Lake Road. So what you need to do to get around this is exit at Thompson Road, and then you can take that to the southbound lanes of Fenton Road. Aww. All right, guys, all week we've been talking about getting rid of the winter blues. I've got a great idea.
Exactly. Get a new dog.
Get a new dog. Yeah. And joining us this morning is Patrice Reed to introduce us to, who is this?
Sprocket.
Sprocket.
He has little specks on his skin. So
well, you can't see because he's got this cute little
we were like matching today.
Yes.
We're doing a fashion statement for Valentine's Day.
Very cute. Well, he is such a sweet dog. Tell us a little bit about him.
Well, he's a poodle mix. He came out of a hoarding kind of a situation. Not too bad, though. He's very laid back. He's, as you can see, he's not really a morning dog. He's slept all the way here.
Aww.
But he's more relaxed. He was a little nervous at first. He's about 2 years old.
Aww.
He's full grown.
Great with people.
Yep. We'll steal your pancakes off the nightstand, so watch your food.
Patrice.
But it's fine with older kids, I would suggest, and any other pets. He seems to be
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much, Patrice. If you are interested in adopting Sprocket, you can call What We Do for the Love of Pets Rescue at 313-671-4134 and call soon because Sprocket is going to go fast.
Right.
Such a lovable dog with those dreamy eyes.
Yes.
Thank you, Patrice. Back to you guys.
Alrighty, Kim, thank you. Absolutely. It's 6:26, and next at 6:30, local stories for you from Detroit, Birmingham, and Clarkston.
Plus, the big changes on campus impacting University of Michigan students. We'll tell you about that after the break.
And as we count down to the Winter Olympics right here on Local 4, we're going to introduce you to the athletes representing the red, white, and blue. We're back in a minute.
There's never. Good morning, everyone. The Red Wings up and down season currently in the down mode. At LCA last night, Bruins beat them 3-2. Wings have lost 2 in a row. We've got highlights. We'll start in the second period. Wings on the power play. Martin Firk with the slap shot. This is going through everyone. His 19th of the year. Wings led it 1-0. But later in the second, Bruins on the move. Great passing. Sean Curley is going to be Jimmy Howard here. His 4th game tied 1-1. Still in the second, the puck is loose. It goes out front to David Krejci. Wide open net. His 10th of the year. Bruins led it 2-1. Late third period, Wings down 3-1. But with the puck, Martin Firk's shot is going to be stopped, but Franz Nielsen is there to clean it up, his 12th of the year, but the Bruins hang on and beat the Red Wings 3-2. College basketball last night, Northwestern beat Michigan 61-52. Michigan State knocked off Iowa in Iowa City, and the Pistons had the night off. They're home tonight against the Nets. I'm Bernie Smalvitz. We'll see you later today at 5, 6, and 11.
Wednesday, 10 to
Well, we've got a winter weather advisory in effect. Snow blanketing southeast Michigan this morning, and it'll likely impact your morning commute. Road conditions are tricky, and accidents are starting to pile up. Not starting to, they are piling up.
Yeah, they certainly are,
delays.
and the commute is a very slow one. You definitely want to give yourself some extra drive time as you're heading out because it will likely take you twice as long, if not longer, to get where you're going in these conditions this morning.
We're going to be checking in with Kim DeGiulio for a look at traffic conditions in just a little bit. But first, we do want to start with meteorologist Brandon Rue and this wallop of snow that we're getting.
Yeah, and we have another one. Just planting the snow seed for Friday that could be 3 times bigger than this one. Again, not the biggest snow we've ever seen, but it is worthy of mentioning now. And an evolution of that storm is one to follow over the next day and a half. But winter weather advisory, whenever the Weather Service issues that, it is mainly for travel, whether it's, by car. There. Or plane. We got this? Is that plane? I bet there are some delays out at Metro Airport for this advisory that goes until noon. 2 to 3 inches of snow. It's sticking to the ground. The timing is terrible. Visibility is limited as well. That's another issue where you're slipping and sliding and could come upon an area that is stopped that you can't see. So just urging everybody to slow it down. 18 degrees. Wind chills are single digits. And again, the snow is sticking to everything. This little dark area, darker blue through Lenawee, Monroe, Washtenaw, and Wayne counties. That is some heavier snow. So it does get a little bit lighter north of 696, but still light to moderate snow coming down at a pretty good clip. And I think most of us looking at, 2 to 3 inches of snow between now and about 10:30 with an afternoon improving, just some flurries and middle 20s. But again, now until about 11 o'clock this morning, it is going to be nasty out there. So we want you to download. It's free. Searching WDIV. You can keep the radar with you. All of the information on the severe weather alerts when the advisory expires and the road conditions, which is huge. And Kim has more on that right now. Before you download, pay attention to this.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I just want to start with some good news to make you smile if you are part of this commute. That accident we had over on southbound I-275 right at I-94, that has just cleared. So if you travel through the Romulus area, things are hopefully going to look better, but it's still going to be slick. Now let's start with the big news over on the southbound lanes of US 23. That is where we have our closure right now. This is right at Silver Lake Road due to an accident. So here's what you need to do if you want to get around this, if this is part of your morning commute. What you need to do is exit at Thompson Road, and then you'll take that to the southbound lanes of Fenton Road. All right, but let's get more accidents that you need to know about. We'll start with this one over here, over on the eastbound side of M14, an accident right at Sheldon Road. This is blocking your left shoulder, and then another accident here on southbound I-75 right at I-94 that has your right lane blocked. But no matter where you're headed today, it is going to be slick out there. You're going to want to give yourself plenty of extra time, so hopefully that you woke up early and you can just get out the door as soon as possible. But to give you a closer look at what's going on the roads right now, I do want to take a look at our live drive camera that is out. This is taking a look at your commute over on the southbound lanes of the Lodge driving through Detroit, and you can see that there is snow covering these roadways. It is hard to see areas where there could be black ice, and traffic volumes are starting to build, so just please take it easy today, or if you can work from home, do that, because that might be the best option right now. So let's go right now live to Coco McAvoy. She's been driving all morning. Hopefully she's safe out there. How are the roads, Coco?
Good morning, Kim. So right now we're on I-94 East in the Melvindale area, headed towards Dearborn. I can tell you that since I last spoke with you, we actually passed 3 different slide-off crashes. So as more people are getting on the roads this morning, we're starting to see quite a few problems. It's very important to take it slow here this morning. We're going about 30-35 miles per hour right now here on the freeway. You can see there are patches where you can see pavement, but in a lot of spots, the snow is really sticking to the pavement here. So that makes for a really tricky and rough commute here this morning. I can also tell you from experience that side streets out here are also pretty rough this morning, especially when you're stopping at the stoplight. So you're going to want to make sure to give yourself some extra time as you head out on the roads this morning during your commute, because you can see here in the live drive this morning that the roads are snow covered. There are patches of pavement. The plows have been out this morning, but it's still really tricky because there could be black ice underneath. So you want to make sure to be very careful and give yourself a lot of extra time. Back to you.
Coco, thank you. And we will keep you updated on road conditions throughout the morning when we go off the air and toss things to the Today Show. You can find us on clickondetroit.com. Our mobile app will be broadcasting a nonstop audio only, what we call the CarCast, with Kim and Brandon giving you the latest weather and traffic updates during this winter mess. It starts at 7 a.m. Meanwhile, we are following other stories for you from across the metro area.
Stories from Clarkston, Birmingham, and Ann Arbor. But we're going to start right here in Detroit, because that is where a Detroit police officer charged with an alleged assault at a gas station on Harper Avenue back in May of last year is due in court. Officer Richard Billingsley is facing a long list of charges, including assault with intent to do great bodily harm and aggravated assault. He entered a not guilty plea back in December and is currently suspended. Today, Billingsley will face a hearing to determine if there's enough evidence for him to stand trial.
Over in Ann Arbor, an updated sexual misconduct policy is set to go into effect for University of Michigan students today. Changes include revising definitions of gender-based harassment and intimate partner violence. Also, the job of determining punishment will move from a volunteer board to staff at the Office for Student Conflict Resolution. And the policy also clarifies when mediation is an appropriate resolution option for non-penetrative cases of sexual assault. Police in Birmingham are warning residents after a number of home invasions have been reported in that city last month. Investigations are underway, and officials are taking this time to pass on a few reminders, like you should always make sure that your doors and windows are locked and secure on your home and vehicles. Also, never leave valuables in plain view. Investigators encourage you to be aware of your surroundings, and if you see anything suspicious or a person or anything that does not seem right, you should contact the Birmingham police.
Right now, DTE Energy working to discover what caused a power outage in Clarkston. This is all after power has now been restored to the more than 14,000 who were in the dark Tuesday night. The city was forced to open a warming station for residents. When DTE shares the source of that outage with us, of course, we'll pass along to you.
All week long, we're helping you battle the winter blues. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Coming up, I'll show you surprising ways to lift your spirits, no plane ticket required.
Making history, and the games haven't even begun. The U.S. well represented this year in the Winter Olympics. I'll introduce you to some of the athletes to keep an eye on coming up next.
And before we go to break, here is another look at the road conditions for you right now as snow is continuing to fall across Metro Detroit. You're looking at southbound I-75 right near 12 Mile as we head on into the city of Detroit. We're going to have a check of the roads from our Coco McAvoy who's out in them and our Kim DeGiulio who's tracking accidents for you as well as weather conditions from Brandon when we come back.
Sky 4.
Welcome back, everybody. It is 6:42, and that sound means that we are inching closer and closer to the Winter Olympics, with the games officially starting tomorrow night at 8 o'clock right here on Local 4.
Yes, they are. And Team USA is bigger than ever. A lot of local athletes, too. Let's get to Jason so we'll know all the athletes that we need to be keeping an eye on over the next couple of weeks.
Hey, did you know the Olympics are coming?
Oh, yeah. We're ready.
I couldn't tell from that large graphic behind you.
Team USA is heading to Pyeongchang with the largest squad of any nation ever taken to the Winter Olympics. 242 members, 135 of those men, 107 women, representing 31 states. Whether it's on ice or snow, Team USA carries high hopes into Pyeongchang.
Oh boy, he is going for the win.
I want to win just as bad as I've ever felt.
Two-time gold medal snowboarder Shaun White's looking for more Olympic glory. So is ski legend Lindsey Vonn, sidelined by injury 4 years ago.
I love the Olympics. I love what they stand for.
The four-time Olympians among 37 on this squad who have already won medals, including Michaela Schifrin, who won slalom gold in Sochi.
Having a gold medal already is a bit more fuel. It's motivation for sure.
Schifrin was an Olympic rookie 4 years ago. This time, the U.S. is bringing more than 100 first-time Olympians to South Korea. One of them is 17-year-old snowboarder Chloe Kim, a medal favorite whose parents were born in this country.
There's so many stories about the Olympics that I've heard from my peers, and now I get to go be there.
Also experiencing it, 7 sets of Olympic siblings, including Ann Arbor ice dancers Maya and Alex Shibatani, and curlers Becca and Matt Hamilton.
The second mixed doubles was going to be a thing. I was like, I'm going to play with my little sister because she's the best. She's awesome, and I hope she thought the same thing.
Speed skating offers strong medal possibilities for Heather Bergsma and Brittany Bowe, while Erin Jackson and teenager Maame Baini are the first black female skaters to make the squad.
I am just so happy right now.
Figure skater Nathan Chen's the only man ever to hit a 5 quadruple jump performance. Doing it again should put him atop the medal stand.
I can't even imagine what it would be like for myself to be up there.
But Chen and the other members of Team USA hope to find out. Colorado is the state with the most athletes represented on Team USA with 31. California is next with 22. Michigan will be sending 11. The youngest athlete is 17, the oldest just 39 years young.
Oh, I see gold, definitely.
Tomorrow night, Local 4, right here.
Absolutely.
Also, here is Bernie Smilovitz with a look at what he's working on for tonight.
The opening ceremony is Friday night right here on Local 4, and when you watch, you'll notice something different.
It's not about me, it's about what I can best do for the audience in that role.
There's a new face of NBC's Olympic coverage. His name, Mike Tirico. But he's not letting a little title like that get to his head.
There's not one person who is putting on the Olympics and say, hey, Mike's on, let's watch. Maybe my family, and that's a borderline call with my family.
Tirico's been studying his international athletes and sharpening his wit.
Medvedeva, who is the favorite in the women's figure skating. I know you were watching her highlights weekend at Bernie's a few weeks ago. I know that was a big feature for you.
It's Mike Tirico on the eve of his first go-around as Olympic host, tonight at 11.
Oh, and he is good.
The excitement is building.
And speaking of his family, they're right here in Ann Arbor, so he has a lot of fans here in Michigan, that's for sure. Let's get over to Brandon. It's a tough morning again, a little worse than the last two.
And Friday will be even worse than this, but maybe not during the morning drive. Timing is everything, and that's a big part of the problem. Timing now, terrible. Temps are in the teens in all 4 zones, 15 in our north zone at Pontiac, 18 in Ann Arbor, it's 18 in Monroe, 18 at Metro, 17 in Harrow, Ontario. So the snow is coming down at a pretty good clip in spots, sticking and also limiting visibility. So it's sort of a double whammy there, hence the winter weather advisory until noon today, although I think the snow starts to cut off before that, maybe as early as 10 a.m. with a couple 2-3 inches on the ground. You see the darker blues here on the east half of the viewing area, which includes now southern Macomb County, Wayne, Monroe, southern Ontario, and it's a little bit lighter to the north. Still very dangerous and slippery here over the next couple of hours. Not, again, the snow totals. It's more a concern of the dangerous travel. After we get through the lunch hour, it's a couple of flurries and middle 20s. Snow totals, according to one model, pretty uniform, around 2.5, maybe 3 inches for most of Metro Detroit, 2 inches or less as you get north of I-69. And you can see the cutoff off to the west, so the heavier stuff coming down now. By, again, 10:30, 11 o'clock, it moves out, and just a couple of flurries and flakes left. Here's Friday. This is an early model, so we're not locked into this one, but notice the key up here, the color codes. This dark blue, 6 to 12 inches, a large chunk of Metro Detroit. The purple, 12 plus inches, I-94 south. Possibility of getting a good half a foot of snow or more on Friday. And this one could be going all day. Morning commute, evening commute, overnight into Saturday. So let's enjoy a drier Thursday. Tomorrow, low 20s, a chilly one with this fresh snowpack. But Friday is one to watch. Could we see school closings? Could we be dealing with more winter storm warnings? We'll have to stay tuned and watch this evolution. But Friday into Saturday, a mess around here for sure. If you thought now was bad, Kim.
Oof. Well, Brandon, speaking of a mess, that is what we're dealing with this morning. If you take a look at the maps here, you can see that we hardly have any green out here. It's a lot of orange, meaning it's slow out there. So let's start with the biggest problem of the morning. We've got a closure over on the southbound side of US 23. This is because of an accident right at Silver Lake Road. So what you want to do to get around this accident is you can exit at Thompson Road, take that to the southbound side of Fenton Road, and just, pack the patience there because it will be slow if you do run into any of those backups. Another accident on the southbound lanes of I-75 right at I-94, blocking your right lane. And then we've got a new accident here over in Harrison Township. This is taking place over on the westbound side of Metro Parkway, right at Union Lake Road. Expect 1 lane block there if you are traveling that way. And then to give you a closer look at what the roads look like, we do have our live drive camera out. Here's a look at the southbound side of the Lodge. Actually, this is right through Detroit, actually just past I-94, and take a look at the roads. It is a slushy mess out there. Cars traveling really slow at this time, which is exactly what you need to do if you are headed out the door because it is slick out there. There's black ice and it's not fun. But right now I do want to let you know that Brandon and I will be doing a car cast starting at 7 a.m. So you can take us on the go. We're going to keep you updated on traffic and weather conditions. All you need to do is grab your phone, download the app, click on Detroit.com or that app, and then we will take you on the go and we'll continue to keep you updated on everything you need to know. Guys?
All righty, Kim, thank you. It is 6:49, and all this week, we're helping you battle the winter blues. And for many of us, that would involve taking a trip, transporting ourselves to somewhere warm instead of this stuff falling behind us, maybe to a beach side like this one with some crystal blue waters.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like Barcelona.
Doesn't that look nice, though, right now? For others, the answer of beating the winter blues may be much greener, like maybe spending a little cash on something new, a little retail therapy.
Not a bad idea, but on this Wellness Wednesday, Dr. Frank McGeorge is here with some very surprising ways you can lift your spirits without having to spend money on a plane ticket.
If you're suffering from seasonal depression that's affecting your ability to function at home or at work, you need to talk to a doctor about treatment options. But if you have a less serious case of the winter blues, there are lots of tricks you can try to improve your mood. One of the most effective ways to battle the winter blues, find the light. Using a light box daily can help, so will spending more time outdoors, even if it's not particularly sunny.
If you can get more sunlight during the winter, that's a bonus, and that will be beneficial to most.
Taking up a cold weather hobby like skating can give you something positive to associate with winter. And while exercising outdoors offers a double benefit, working out indoors can help too. A Harvard University study found walking briskly for about 35 minutes a day, 5 times a week, helped improve mild to moderate symptoms. Regular yoga classes may also have benefits.
If it's the blues, sometimes you can push yourself a little bit, get some exercise, do a little meditation, and push yourself out of it.
Brighten up your diet with more fruits and vegetables. Research suggests people who eat more produce tend to be happier and healthier. Also, pump up the tunes. Studies find listening to upbeat music is a simple way to shift your mood. And if that doesn't help, start planning a vacation. Even if you aren't going anywhere anytime soon, research suggests just thinking about where you would go and what you would do can help send those winter blues packing. Socializing more, decorating your home in bright colors, and even eating more fish can also boost your mood. Remember, whatever works for someone else, though, may not work for you, so don't be afraid to keep trying until you find something that does. Back to you.
Yeah,
Good
some
advice.
very good, good advice
Good
there.
ideas.
Working out, I definitely think helps. I think also maybe try new foods, like creating different meals, recipes, or just
also
ordering
embracing and doing, winter type activities.
Yeah.
Just to try to associate it with something positive and fun.
And when all else fails, pizza. Delivery. It is 6:52, and as we also help to continue to help you beat the winter blues this week, the therapist Dr. Laura Barnett is going to be joining me live on Facebook right after our newscast at 7 a.m. This is your chance to really get any professional help, any questions that you might have about this topic. So again, join us at 7 a.m. on the Local 4 Facebook page. And coming up tomorrow morning, we're talking about escaping the cold, because you don't have to go far away like Miami or California or Barcelona to beat the winter blues. Sometimes you can look right in your own backyard, and we mean right here in Metro Detroit. I've got the 4 places that'll make you forget about winter right now, in fact, and start thinking about summer at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah.
We're back with the stories to watch for today, right after the break. Stay with us.
This winter.
Our winter weather advisory means travel at your own risk. I know you got to get around, but visibility limited. All this snow is sticking. 18 degrees, wind chills in the single digits, and some of the heavier snow is coming down right now. Good news is starting to break apart between now and 10 a.m. 2 to 3 inches, middle 20s this afternoon, and drier. Friday's storm could be a half a foot or more. Kim?
Oh boy, Brandon. All right, well, we've got a closure over on US 23. That is causing some problems here. This is the southbound lanes of US 23. Watch out, this accident taking place at Silver Lake Road. What you need to do is exit at Thompson Road, and then you'll take that to the southbound lanes of Fenton Road. Also, a new accident over on westbound I-696 just past Grosse Beck has your right lane blocked. And then don't forget to check out our CarCast today. It is starting at 7 a.m. on our Click on Detroit app. Brandon and I will get you the latest on your weather and the roads as you head out the door, so you can take us with you.
Where's Grosse Beck?
Grosse Beck.
It looks like traffic speeds are extremely slow.
Very
on absolutely
slow.
Every surface street freeway.
You know what? Sleep in, stay home.
Yeah, sounds good.
Be safe out there,
orders.
everybody.
See you tomorrow.